Here's what I read in March. I read 7 books in March. Some were physical books, some were digital, some were a library that have been returned. I'm going to try to do this kind of quickly, but your girl's long-winded. So I'll be honest, it probably won't be as quickly as others, but I'll try. Very early March, finished Kate Chopin, The Awakening, and it was brilliant. It's a classic. I don't even think I rated it because I didn't think it was fair to rate a classic. Kind of like a memoir, like appreciate it for what it is and in its time. Definitely recommend, especially, well, you know what, for everybody. Everyone should read that. And it's a short story. It takes like that much time. Up next was Lady Tan's Circle of Women by Lisa See. I adore Lisa See, and I love every single book that I've read of hers. So I don't think you can go wrong picking up a Lisa See book. It is about a group of women, a circle of women. Yeah, it is set in Ming, during the Ming Dynasty in China, and it follows a young girl in an affluent household through her life, and the circle of women that surround her throughout her life, and she becomes a doctor in her time. And it was very inspiring, it was empowering, it was educational. I found myself going down rabbit holes and wanting to see what these like compounds looked like, where families were living during this time. It was so interesting to me, like the opulence, and it was a very interesting era to read about. So definitely recommend this. This is a 5-star read for me. I read Buckeye, which was a library find. That was 4 stars for me. And I wasn't super interested in like getting back to it every time I closed the book. I found myself kind of detaching from it. About halfway through, I got kind of in the groove of it, and I found myself wanting to find out what ended up happening with the characters. It was good. It just wasn't. I don't think it met my expectations. I've seen it everywhere, and I heard only good things about it, and so it just didn't meet my expectations. I think maybe if I hadn't heard so much about it, it might have been better for me. But it was just a 4-star read for me. Well, I mean, which is still really good. Recommend, yes. Next was The Stolen Marriage by Diane Chamberlain. That was a Kindle read, and I absolutely love Diane Chamberlain. And if you have not picked up any of her books, you can't miss. She writes Southern fiction. I think all of her books are written featuring North Carolina. I could be wrong, but all the books that I've read have some Southern fiction. Also, a lot of her, I think most of her books have some sort of magical element. And so I love magical realism. And I really love this one. The Stolen Marriage was about it's the 1940s. A girl has her whole life ahead of her and all planned out. She is very much to the T. And she's going to be a nurse. Her fiance is studying to be a doctor, and her whole life is planned out ahead of her. And she makes one choice to go out of town one weekend with her friend, and something happens, and it just changes the whole trajectory of her life. And you find her later on thrown into North Carolina, Hickory, North Carolina, during the polio epidemic. And that sent me down some rabbit holes there, seeing it was kind of based on true events that happened in that area during that time. And I've never really read about the polio epidemic. I mean, you just know bits and pieces about it. So that was very interesting. I did give it 4 stars. I wanted more from that character. I wanted her to be strong. She was so strong and like had herself together. And I wanted her to stand up for herself more. But it was a satisfactory ending for me. It was still a 4-star. I would recommend it. I would recommend you find Diane Chamberlain in general. I love The Dream Daughter. Next was The Most Fun We Ever Had by Claire Lombardo. I did do a separate review on this, fawning all over it. Obviously, I recommend 5 stars. Then I Got this from the library, Good Material by Dolly Alderton. It was British. It was funny. It wasn't that long. It had everything going for it, but it still missed the mark. I gave it a 3.5 stars because it just, I found it to be a little bit redundant, and I found myself skimming through paragraphs. Just felt like it was getting repetitive, and there were some funny parts to it. I did laugh out loud. I loved that there was like an ending, hearing from the girlfriend that he's talking about this entire book. He's a little whiny. He's a little needy, but he is lovable. And I really liked the girlfriend that that she broke up with him. I really liked her. So cool characters, good setup, but just didn't meet the mark for me. 3.5 stars. The last book of March was Child of My Heart by Alice McDermott. I would consider this like in the classics genre for some reason. At first, I was getting like Pippi Longstocking vibes, which love her, all about it. But then it had a darker turn to it. It's a 15-year-old girl. She's like the babysitter of the caretaker of all the children and animals and everything in Long Island, in her neck of the woods. And she just has to grow up very fast. She's put in a position as a caretaker very early on, and is given a lot of expectations, and she's taken advantage of in a lot of ways. And I don't think she even realizes she's taken advantage of in those ways at that time. But I did write a lot of notes in the margins and took a lot from it. I journaled a lot about it, but I think that you'll take from it what you will. So that's what I read. Oh, yeah. And I did not finish this. Tell Me Everything by Elizabeth Strout. I think everyone loves this book, but I was just like probably 15% of the way through, and I couldn't care less what happened with these characters. Sorry. It just wasn't my thing. But I've never read another one of those, and I think it's in a series, so we'll give it that. I do have some hopefuls right now. I'm reading 2 great books right now. I'll do an update on that later. Anyway, that was what I read in March.